From commanding vessels across international waters to leading organizations in the Philippines, his career reflects both operational excellence and strategic vision. He holds a PhD in maritime management and an MBA in shipping and logistics from Middlesex University of London. He was also a top graduate of the United Nations UNCTAD Modern Port Management Program in Dublin and Cork, a distinction awarded to leaders shaping the future of port systems worldwide. Most recently, he completed the MIT Sloan program in artificial intelligence, implications for business strategy, positioning himself at the forefront of AI-enabled smart ports, digital transformation, and intelligent automations. As a United UNCTAD leader and lecturer in port management, Captain Paka has trained senior port managers across Asia, Africa, and Europe, guiding them on smart port systems, cybersecurity, digital twins, and AI-driven operations, effectively bridging traditional port management with future-ready technologies. He has contributed to major development initiatives such as the ADB Manila Bay Pasig River to Laguna Lake Ferry System and the ADB DOTR Electric Ferry Systems project, advancing sustainable and intelligent transport solutions in the region. Within the industry, he is the past president of the SMAC here in Visayas and currently serves as its vice president, helping shape logistics policy, education, and industry collaboration nationwide. In 2025, he was recognized among the top three leaders in the Who's in the Global Maritime Leadership. So everyone, please join me in welcoming a maritime strategist, global educator, and an advocate of AI-driven transformation, Captain Roden Paca. Captain, you have the floor.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Ice. And I hope you can see my presentation. I would like to ask Ice to spotlight me so that
Sure.
you can actually see my presentation. I am in the full screen. I'm using a green screen for my presentation, Ice. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Sir Bob for number one, inviting me for a golf game yesterday, which we won for his maybe they're giving us a generous game only, and also I like for staging this sharing of knowledge about AI. So let me let me introduce myself and also the topic. I'll be talking about the future-ready operations of AI on the supply chain industry. You can interrupt me anytime if my signal is not good. So let me proceed. As introduced by ICE, I have a port management masters from Ireland, and I have MBA from London, majoring only on shipping, logistics, and supply chain. So in 2024, I was invited in Ireland for sustainability conference, and I was one of the awarded team and globally about sustainability of supply chain. So you can see in 2018, I just give you this little background. I was one of the 3 speakers in World Port Logistics in Malaysia, in which I discussed more on supply chain point of view rather than port. So last year, I did my MIT class, not as a programmer only, I'm also a programmer, but as a business strategist on AI. And this is something that I like to share to you this morning. And I just like to start, I've started as a ship captain before. 13 years at sea, container ships, under Star Shipping, one of the ship masters that is what considered the youngest in the world at 26. And where I'm doing container operations from Hong Kong to US and from Europe to East Coast, and one of the Filipino-Norwegian scholars. As discussed, I am also the ESIMA president. Why I'm showing you this one? Because I would like to stress that I know the industry. I know that what we are working for. I know our needs, our challenges right now, and this is something that is I will discuss to you today. As a businessman, I am a supply chain practitioner. I own a lot of trucks, also few ships in management, catering, car, and cement industry. And I think some of you know me, especially in cement industry, because of the various warehouses and the various trucking operations I'm handling. Let me start. Supply chain starts with ships, ships, and it talks about ports and depot. Last December, Petron called me and asked me to present like this in the whole group companies, including supply chain suppliers, because they have this one problem. Their problem is to optimize the supply of fuel using 80 ships, 14 depots, 3,000 Petron gas stations, and using around 2,000 trucks in the cheapest, fastest optimization. Few years ago, I did an experiment. I was a programmer that did the optimization program of distribution of one cement company. The problem for optimization that has so many variables that could make 3 millions from ports, the drops of the ships, you have combinations of scenarios. The problem with that is that if you press the calculate button, it will take you 28 to 32 hours before the right answer will be given. Let's say it's a signal number 3 and your ship's already running. You press the calculate button again and you have to wait another 24 hours. It was a failed experiment, although the program was running, because that was based on database, that was based on scenario models. But right now, gentlemen and ladies, it has changed. The AI has changed the optimizer challenge. AI right now, for example, right today, your truck is being stopped by a traffic, or your ship is being stopped elsewhere by Coast Guard, and the delivery is being threatened. AI updates real time. And you can see in your dashboard, you can see in your phones the real updates and the answer of the challenges. Ship, ports, and warehouse. Because Gothong, you focus on dry cargoes, not like Petron. So, each of these elements, from warehouse, port, and ships, they have their own challenges. This small box down here, it would say these elements. The small box will tell you the management, the safety, efficiency, and the human resource in each element. And I would tell you how AI would change that one. Before, shipping companies would simply say, I'm only a shipping. I don't care about the door-to-door delivery. The paradigm has changed. The landscape has changed. And AI has a changing effect on that. Last week, I met with Lazada. And Lazada just awarded another supply chain practitioner. Maybe you know. One of them is, they are based in Alabang. And I am awarded as a mid-mile. Mid-mile meaning from the CIP to tracking to the warehouse only. Because the challenge of this one, because there were labor challenges that they face, that they have to outsource the whole supply chain. And that's something that I like to discuss for you. For example, the delivery guys. The delivery guys made a case against Lazada. They are regular workers. So this is part of the whole process, the whole management. And what would I tell you later? I would later elaborate. Okay, so the storm and the doorstep. Now, captains has to reassess, has to reinvent the wheel. They have to see now the final delivery. Because the whole supply chain of ships, ports, and trucks has now different departments. And what are the departments I am talking about? Let's say the buyer and seller. The gears of trading will only work if the gears of the ships or the port are in the same paradigm. However, if you are not in the same paradigm, if you are not the same system, you have gaps of your management, you have gaps in your delivery. Let's say shipping. I worked in Canberra ships for 7 years. I was the COO, I was the Vice President for Operation, managing 32 ships around the world. And talking about ship management, I had an academic master's from Lloyd's of London as a master in shipping management. We have this management. Right now, maybe the management that we're talking about is hiring superintendents, technical, marine operations, and you put it there. And the ratio, I don't know on domestic ratio, but in the Canberra, our ratio for one technical superintendent is 1:5. 5 ships for one technical superintendent. For domestic, maybe easily economists would scale of scale would tell you maybe 3 technical superintendents, 2 marine superintendents. But the EI, generative EI, will tell you that you can save around 30 to 40% of the management point of view because of EI. Because of the data integration, because of the data processing that will be shortcut to the management. Let's say go safety. Safety, you'll have some of the data, you make dolly reports, AI will grab that one in one instant, and assure you in 10 minutes, it'll give the analysis that I used to do in 3 days. That's AI, right? Already. But we have this problem, and that problem is the human resource. The human resource is, we cannot AI it. One conference I was asked, Cap, do you think that we will have the automatic and human-less people in Cebu as far as logistics is concerned? Not in my lifetime. I can see the human-less trucks running at the ports like LA or like Nagoya, Japan, or like Surabaya, Indonesia, which I used to help and used to. Not in my lifetime. I honestly tell you, not in Philippines. Because the human resource challenges here is real. And I have to discuss this also to you. The real challenge right now in Philippine industry is not the use of AI, but it is the safe, efficient, and challenge performance of any industry. Let's say supply chain company, shipping company. You need a safe vessel, efficient vessel. That's very costly. I cannot just hire so many people and hire consultants from ISM and actually pay. And if you need very efficient, oh, I need more trucks, I need more people. That's efficient. But the 3 components that we must always remember in running a business strategy is always the cost. The intersections of these 3 is very important for me. And EI is the one that will process this one in the fastest, economic cheapest way, because it's only EI that can cut costs if you are targeting this one. Now this is a challenge right now. The labor shortages, the human resource. I just like to show you this one. The crew requirements of the crew overseas has changed. It used to start in Europe, then come India, then come Philippines, then there come China. The quality of the crew has already changed also as well. It's no longer the people who think mouse is a rat, but rather mouse is a part of a computer. No, it has changed eventually. And the global, I like to discuss this timeline of global change, the different challenges right now. In fact, if you have to see this one in my slide, the last one, the challenge right now is for the digital crew. Now, why I am discussing this to you? 1.9 million seafarers around the world. There's a shortage in global quality crew because as a domestic shipping, there's a difference of benefits that we have to remember. The local route, usually they have long hours, maybe limited resources, and the international people is sharing the same resource. Why I'm sharing you this one? Because as a domestic shipping operator, we have the same problem. It's hard to hire qualified, genius-like people to run in our domestic shipping industry. And this is a fact that we can twist. This is only a fact that we can accept. By accepting this one, that we can actually compete with international, then we can devise something for our domestic industry. And it is only can be done. Not only can be done with AI, but AI will be the best tool for that. Why? Okay, I'll give you. In our study of AI in US, there were experiments being conducted. More than 50,000 people. They are provided with AI instruments and AI tools. All the tools. And this is one of the findings, major MIT findings. Number one, after 6 months to 1 year of usage, people who are given AI tools who have low IQ became, their performance and productivity becomes very bright. At par of the people who are bright, high IQ, and with AI. So what's the conclusion? AI is a tool. It's a tool for low IQ people, less skilled people to become at level of high skilled people. What happened to high skilled people who use AI? There was no significant difference. The call for diversification was there. Let me continue. In the Philippine port, we can still see this one. AI that cannot really help. This is something that I would say that just human challenges in Philippines cannot be solved because there are still many requirements. Let me start by requirements of knowledge. The knowledge requirement can be done and can be done only by training. There's no other way for that. And the skills for our operators can be done only also by training. Last is an attitude. It could be cultural, KSA, or it could be something that we have to use. From the point of view of the family, attitude. Pasko karon. Tomorrow there are no umpires in the port. No? Birthday now. Tomorrow you cannot find drivers because this is our culture. We drink tomorrow, we cannot drink again. We're not going to the office. No, this is KSA. So we have to train this one. Why I am telling you this one? Because for us domestic operator, supply chain operator to compete international supply chain, there is a need for a training for us. Plus AI to have at par with them. Because we cannot beat them as far as cost is concerned. Cannot. So there is a need for us for a tool which is AI and a training. This is Pasar Corporation. I used to run the whole logistic operation of Pasar for the last 7 years. Training the port operators, the backhoe operators. I made a school in Isabelete. Why I am telling you this one? Because I made a school that catered 400 Sika drivers and made them operators. People can be changed. People can be converted. Skills can be learned. This is the point of view of them. I was a chief operation officer of Japan-based ship management company, which you know, Kambara and Tsunisi. We learned a lot in Japan. When I made the systems for shipping management, in 3 months alone, I was employed in 2006. In 3 months, I was able to get a corruption of 86 million in only 3 months. Just imagine. That ship management existed for 8 years. And when I joined in 2006, I was able to see, because of the computer system, a corruption of 86 million. And what happened? 14 of the people were being fired out. Totally. And what happened to me? I was under attack for 2 years. I have a police bodyguard because my family and me being threatened. But it is I'm sharing you this one because this happened to all ship management companies that is being run outside without a proper system. I work in Poland, and in 2000 I was a shipbuilding manager in Poland, in Stocznica. The labor requirement of ship management may tell you, oh, I don't need an EI. But EI will have the generative analysis that I used to do in 5 days in only less than an hour. That's the truth. Even financial analysis right now. In Finland, I used to build cranes that maybe you're using right now, gantry, because I was sent to study cranes. Even cranes right now, the loading, the sequence are now being assessed through EIs. Again, I've been in ship management, as I told you, and right now I'm with Fujitrans. The cars, you are, the Gotham Southern is, you're sending your containers to us through a chassis. So we're making a local domestic ship. So how we do this one? We have to accept that domestic is not like international. And there is something that we can do, and that intervention, it can only be done by AI. Because we have different ingredients. Our human resource is very different. In Philippine industry, I like to share you, we have an aging fleet. An aging fleet of 80% and 22 years average. That's our aging fleet. 22 years average of aging fleet. I'd like to congratulate Bob for buying new container ships a year. There are 2 or 3 coming, just like also your other competitors. And there are also in the Philippines right now, in the domestic industry, there are so many authorities that are looking around, giving you papers and documents, and your superintendent sitting in your office, in your technical or your shipping management, handling these documents day by day. But with generative AI, you can easily get this one in 1 to 2 hours. Easily. And this is the management all about. Management with AI, safety with AI, human resource with planning AI, generative AI, and the productivity will become red, meaning it will change. There are many challenges right now on the crew behavior, and I think you believe this is true. In Tagalog, we used to say that the bulag, pipi, and bingi will only be hired in our domestic industry. Meaning, if they fail in applying overseas, they will apply to us. And that is true. Anong nangyari? High blood kasi ako, sir. If you are high blood, then no problem. We can make a medicine for you or this one. No, because we have no choice. We have no choice. Even in our shore management. The shore management skill on running the management are now filled up with many documents because the ISM, the ASO is now very different. The requirements of the load is now very different. In 2018, 13 and 14, I was part of what we call ADB, Asian Development Bank, that designed the ferry system of the Pasig River. From Manila Bay to Pasig River to Laguna Lake. In 2000, I just share you, they cost more than 100 millions for us to make study, me and a certain group. And in 2016, it stopped. Why? Because they need a system. They need somebody to invest 83 ferries with proper system, and properly it stopped. In 2024, this ADB project, 2022 came back in life, and now they want an vessel, electronic vessel, running 83 around the system. Still no taker at this time. Okay, the shipping management. The shipping management have now so many requirements. You are running containers, you're running bulk, you are running tankers, double hull, crew requirements. Now at my back, this will tell you the many requirements of the shipping management. And the shipping management has to in line with the port. Why the LCT right now is a hotcake? Because it doesn't need a port. It just ground that or beach that one. That's our main concept of LCT. We don't even need to have a tool for that. No? Why? Because 7,100 islands, they say. 7,600 islands. That's a new one. So, the Philippine landscape has also changed. The supply chain industry of the petron, the supply chain industry of the flour, of the cement has also changed. There's only a thing that we have to remember: 7,600 islands with many variations. There's nothing we can do but a tool what we call AI, and that is something that gonna change the whole industry. I'm running an integration company for, I just tell you, Danao, you know, the cement company there. Me and my friend Jiggy Akol and Benji, we're still running this for the last 7 years. And the integration that involves so many things of the Danao operations, from raw materials, delivery to the factory. This involves so many people. In just like any other company that has so many branches, that has so many gears, maybe like you also, you have so many gears in Gotham, then it needs more focus, because there will be gaps on the gears itself. And the gaps has to be remembered. The gaps has to be quantified. The gaps has been qualified. I'll give you the process of this one. For example, right now, I have so many reports from the ships, left and right, PMS. You know, by the way, I'd like to share. I was the programmer before TransAsia sold to Chelsea their PMS system. So I used to do PMS system, the Canberra PMS system, as a programmer. And the Azimuth in Malaysia, I'm doing that one. And we do a lot of PMS program for them. So I used to run for 7 years a software company that really supports shipping. You say the level is chaos. It's no problem. We'll make a database, they say. And that's a process that we call the first process of discipline. We put a database and it's end of the story. Because data will become information. It will become only information if we process. Then to process, you need right people. What if you don't have the right people? What if your people lack the training? Then you need tools. AI will help you the process. I don't think we will have the IoT sensors in the next 3 years. What is IoT sensors? They are Internet of Things. You put in the container crane of all the Gotong ships, you put a sensor that every time your container is being lifted, it sends signals to the traffic of Cebu City that I am now lifting. It is in Germany, Hamburg. I believe in Surabaya it's there. In Johor, where I was teaching, it's there. So, but not in our level. Then the level 3 of AI systems and digital twins, it's around 3 to 5 years from now. But my talk right now is the future ready. Is to ready your companies on this level. To ready is not to go directly to level 3 or level 2. You must go to level 0 and level 1. And that is ready all about. Right now, you have the data. You have the data from everywhere. The question is, do we have control of the data? Do you have control of the efficiency? Do you have control of the output? This is now the control. So I give you the process. The first scenario, what we call is, there will be so many errors because if there's no system, you are subject for human errors. And because as big as we are, so many levels of companies, so many levels of hierarchy, chances are the level of error also is high. But here comes AI in the middle. AI will help you sort. AI will generate you proper analysis with proper controls. Then you'll have a happy life. That's AI. I just give you this example. This is a very sample I just tell you. Sample of what we're doing in Danao. In Danao, a very simple operation, barging from Cebu City Anchorage or Liloan Anchorage, 50,000 clinker. This is a Liloan Anchorage. Okay? For 50,000 clinker integration to Danao, I need 108 persons, 48 equipments, 144 operators and crew. How many LCT? 6. How many dump trucks? 20. So if you have to analyze this one, and there are gaps of informations, the alignment of efficiency, the final delivery will always change. Will always change. That's how. That's why we PTMS we invented the 24/7 call centers in all our logistic operations. Our people, they are powered by AI. They actually give, I mean, just like a shipping management, just like a tracking management, they give advices and analysis based on our generative AIs. The final say I would like to say that the paradigm of shipping companies has already changed. Now they change. Now there is now a vertical integration logic. I just like to share you around the world as a UN United Nations lecturer. Right now there is now a vertical integration logic. Companies right now tend to integrate everything. They have now to integrate everything as far as AI is concerned, from shipping to tracking, and the focus right now is the visibility. It should be visible enough. It should, it's not working. Let me click this one for a while. These are glitches of technology as well. You know, so this is supposed to be running. So for a while. Okay. So here. Okay, it should be running, yeah. So here, then the pandemic profits, I just like to share you. In 2019, the shipping company around the world reinvested. If this is a profit that I will tell you, it's a flat one. Then suddenly in 2020, shipping companies made a lot of profit. That was shipping company, supply chain company like YellowX. Why? It's not because of pandemic, but because their money that they have saved from pandemics, they invested more and more in properties and in equipments. Now let's have the ship management focus. The ship management focus of the AI system. The ship management focus of the AI system has also changed. It means that I have to change from a digital point of view. No? So I'm sorry, I have to get out because my presentation has to be running. No? So for a while, just a few seconds. But it's not running anyway. So these are glitches. Okay. Now it's okay. Okay. So the digital engine. So the digital engine will tell you so many dashboards right now. For example, Gotham, you have a lot of processing time. You have the right engineers, but so many inputs already. The time spent that they're gonna spend for 24 hours can be done in only 1 hour. That's only the advantage. Let me delve for this one. It's very important. You know, for example, the first stage is the human factor only. Paper here, paper there. I tell you properly, I cannot read for 3 pages without the proper analysis in 20-30 minutes with all the data. So if you give me around, if you have 10 ships, for example, 12 ships, all the analysis of PMS are right there. Your superintendents will have all these data piled up, and I'm sure the analysis will have to wait for another meeting. But let's say in the AI assisted ship management, with all the data, they press something with proper prompt, they'll give you in less than 1 hour. Update the dashboard, the owners, maybe you're in a golf course, maybe you're traveling, you're being updated by the dashboard. And this is what AI is all about. This is about the expansion of capability by human element. I'm not talking yet sensors, because sensors, IoTs, they are only data gathering. So, in the point of view of AI, how we manage will be properly monitored in a systems using cell phones, using dashboards, and the time spent is being really down. No, so for example, for Gotham, supply chain, YellowX, all your properties, all your businesses, you have a centralized AI, then that would really give you the different advantage. For example, the ship management department. The ship management is a pure service. It's a pure management with people, with proper reporting. With AI, that is, you know what's good with AI? AI likes repetitive tasks. Repetitive tasks can be automated, and that's how it is. You have the non-report, all these kind of repetitive tasks. Before we use database, I used to program that one. But it's not analytical. You have to press and press before it is being presented to the management. You need a meetings with the crew or the captains for you to get the real scenario. However, with the data piling up, do you know that AI in every hour it is increasing its knowledge? In fact, it is estimated that it has a 3 times acceleration knowledge in every hour. See, that's AI all about. And AI, even the media, the one that I'm presenting you to do, these videos, this one is being done in only less than 3 minutes. I used to do a system, what we call programming system, PTMS, cargo handling, crewing system. They are database. And database, it's good. But it's only up to there. It's the first level of discipline that we have to do. Kambaratisan is one of my clients, also Asimov, you know, with all this PMS system, purchasing, the kind of thing that you're doing right now. However, if you are making multi-business with multi-companies, with multi-teams, how you gonna gather the data without gaps? Without gaps. Preventive maintenance and predictive maintenance. How you gonna do without gaps? How you gonna do the port operations? How you gonna get the commercial operations in line with port operations without gaps? We call it procurement. Procurement is very important. As I told you, in Tunisia, I was able to get 82 million of corruption in only 3 months because of the procurement system. And when we took over Amigo Shipping and in Iloilo, it was found out that they overspent more than 60 million in fuel because of lack of system. So those are the system that can really help. Because in shipping management, this is what we call DRC. No, the other hand. DRC and DRI. What's DRC? Daily running cost. If we go for a ship management company, and if I make an audit, for example, it will say, Mr. Superintendent, do you know our DRC? If they don't know our DRC, they cannot manage. They cannot manage. What's a DRC? Your daily running costs. Every day you anchor, you are spending something. I just give you, for example, a simple Panamax. Our DRC Handymax. When I was in Tunisia before, our DRC daily running cost was $5,000. So every time, 50,000 US dollar. So every time we anchor, it's a $50,000 loss. Let's say Fujitrans, roughly around 1.2 million a day. So every time CPA will tell Harbor Master, tell our captain, you drop an anchor, that's 1.2 million. That should automatically run on the management side. That I'm losing 1.2 million. Not, you are anchor, that's good. Anyway, we can deliver something, we can go get out. No? This is something that, this is the business point of view and the operational point of view. This is the difference. VMS, we used to do fuel monitoring, voyage routes, and cargo management. By AI, things that we do for 30 days, easily we can do in 1 day. PMS system, marine systems, and also the supply chain incidents. 44% fewer incidents with unified ESETs. And it is now proven with the proper information, the 44% will become around 70%. Why? Because of the coordination. There's no gaps of reporting. Okay, the safety designs, the PMS system also can be done by AI. Future-proofing with artificial intelligence. What's future-proofing? That means I'm not telling you to buy AI systems from. I'm telling you to start with ground zero, set the chaos, instead the right discipline. It's just like if you have like a 2-story building right now. You know that you will need the 3rd and 4th floor later. You have to prepare the pillars already. That's future-proofing. It doesn't mean that they have to make the building right away. Because by the time you need it, it's very fast. This is now the difference between the simple database program that I used to do on AI. Because by the time AI is needed and it is already there, you have no more time to establish it. That's why it has to be future-proof. Company as big as any company like you, if you're running bakeries, it's just one discipline. But you're talking supply chain with warehouse, with drivers, forklifts, with ships, with ports. It's a big discipline. Then the talent transformation. This is something I like to tell you. This is not easily done because there are poaching. You train people. Okay, Gothong is now training people. Then after that, they are AI ready, they are future ready. Then it's being poached or pirated by another companies. So these are some of the sample. The Merck's, for example, the global integrated blueprint. The Merck's right now has changed. Look at this one. We have the $7 billion revenue lift in logistics. Why? Because of the integration. AI integration. Let's say same CGM. What's Mistral? Why other side? Mestral and Google is powering the same CGM because they need something. They need a system because that is a global operations. MSC is also doing this one. They have the strategy, the benefit, and the logic of this one, and they are the controlling of the choking points. Let's say your local guy, Togo Group, the SM Group, they are now changing the paradigm from shipping to doorstep na sila. They have now a lot of motorcycles, and this is something that you have to do. A satisfied customers more than 20 tons. The customer-centric supply chain system from containers to customers. In 2015, I was the speaker of APEC, and that was the time when Obama was here, and I was discussing the supply chain challenges of the Philippines. And there was a guy who questioned that, do you see the Philippines changing digitalization in the next 5 years? And that was 2015. Now it's 2026, already 11 years. I cannot see the digitalize in the ports and operations. I teach smart ports. This is Surabaya, Indonesia in 2023. We have a smart ports in Surabaya, Indonesia. No people at the dock, nothing. Joystick, only joystick people running the whole operation. No people, trucks, no people, cranes, no people. Only here you can see. So I was there. It's a very safe port. No people, no dock workers, except linemen, and they go away. And they are now planning tugboat with no people. Nagoya, Japan, 2017. 2017, trucks with no people. I was there. No, so this is something that we have to analyze. Will it happen in Philippines? I don't think so. There are so many challenges that we have in sport industry. 2 years ago, LA was trying to follow Japan. No people on the dock. And what they had is rally. What they had is a strike. No, so this is something we have to balance. No, I've been invited in Maldives in 2025. I teach in Maldives on ports operations. I've been in Tanzania as well in early 2025. And I'm teaching port operations with EI systems and the smart port systems. Of course, the UN, I've been in many countries as an UNCTAD lecturer, Belfast, Cork, Johor, and I shared even with the prime ministers on sharing ideas. This is Johor, and this is also Singapore. This is twin, 2017, they have already the twin monitoring of the ships that they have. Right now, we don't have this, no? So, and this is Generative AI. One of my client, let's just tagoon na lang nato sa name, YellowX, through Vic Suasos, is asking us, they're giving us a cargo manifest to Katiklan. I put in Generative AI with the proper prompt. In less than 30 minutes, give me the process on how to bring to Katiklan with risk management, with proper system, with the right cost, and they're doing that. No, so this is the Katitlang project for Yellow X. Proper drawing. Only you send to us the manifest. Very simple, cargo manifest. Put that in Gen AI, put in a proper prompt, and it's there. Up to end to end. 1 page infographics with 3 pages details. No, so it is like one of my clients also in Toledo. It will happen next month. Next month, they are bringing the biggest crane from USA to there. Give me the manifest. They send the manifest. I send back in 30 minutes this drawing, and they're mind blown. Oh, how did you able to do this one? We're trying to make this one in how many days already? No, so it's EI will bring you somewhere. EM, same ECGM, powerhouse right now through EI. And ports right all over the world now, in the Europe, now EI. No, so connectivity and the pattern, even Fujitrans Japan right now, they are now studying how to implement EI. No, so the transport management will change. The transport management will easily be like Merck's transport, like fast logistics. With the proper system right now with EI, the traffic is real time. It can no longer, automation is real time, and it will be changed. The problem right now is fatigue problems, the people. Do you have the right people? Do you need people to be trained? What are the proper training you have? You say, okay, I invest on EI, it's no problem. But my crew, maybe they cannot read the computers. They have this cognitive problems. They have overloaded so many reports. Then that's a problem. That's the gaps that we have to see. The gaps in training and the gaps in digital transformation. No, so we have these fatigue problems that create problems. This is an organizational chart I'd like to share to you. I'm here on this one. I am the ferry operations specialist of the new structure right now on Asian Development Bank. I show you this one because it's an 85 electric ferries looking for investors for the Pasig River, Manila Bay up to Laguna Lake. But the problem with that is a system. They don't have the proper system, investor you can get, but the proper electric system. These are the different things that I have designed for them, electrical ferries, all the kind of, because I'm the ferry specialist, I made the designs. 300 passengers with 20 other connectivity. Okay, green and connected future. Fujitrans has just lost in Marina. We applied for bunker fuel to continue to extend. But this year, it's a diesel fuel, low sulfur. What happened? It's a 25% increase on our fuel cost. This is what we call green and connected future. Do we need this one? If it's the law compel us to do, then we have to do this one. So if we do this one without a proper system, if we do this one with a proper people trained, then it's more cost for us. It's more for shipping lines, ports again, and warehousing. And again, I'd like to end that the management, safety, and productivity research can only be done. There's no other company without these 4 elements, especially the logistics. You need the proper management. You need the productivity to be enhanced. You need the safety, and you need the human resource. At the end of the day, you're trying to look for this one, the intersection between the cost, efficiency, and the intersection of the cost, efficiency, and safety. This is a warehousing in the future. Maybe you know this one. The warehousing in the future is now defined. No, so this is the EI in the future in the loading, but it will happen. It will not happen in Cebu. This is how KPIs are being monitored right now. So I just show you. So end-to-end logistics. The risk is complicity and geopolitics in Philippines. So what you can do with that? So we don't accept EI. No. You have to future-proof your company because it's too political. No. My message is to housekeeping. Prepare your data, then future up. Start with Gen AI. Start with right people. Then you train the people because the 2030 outlook is the convergence. I'll tell you, 2030 logistic as a service, blur between shipping lines, technical and company and bank, and baseline is dynamic pricing, real-time routing. They used to ask me, Kap, do you think that like international company shipping will be separated in Philippines? No. I just tell you frankly, We are too small that to separate the shipping, ports, and warehouse. Our shippers, because I'm also with the SMAP, talk to one person only. They call it integrators. And you bring a cargo to Tacloban, end to end, door to door. That's it. That's the real paradigm shift right now. If Yellow X, if Gotham would also go with that paradigm, then there are so many things that we have to do because the door to door entails so many segments, and that segments need many things. Two things. Number one, grow. Do you like to grow? What do you know? Get rid of workers. This is what we used to say. Oh, I use EI and I get rid of workers. I don't think this will happen. I don't think this will happen. You grow by getting rid or no. You will have this one. Three. You have to train, you have to retain, you have to engage using advanced technology, which is AI. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Bob, the group of companies, thank you for your time. No? So I like to end that the end point. I like to end this one is that efficiency, safety, and cost. They are not different, but it should be put together, and the best target is here. This is the best target. Not so safe, not so expensive, but you are efficient. Okay, I am Rudy and Para. I have my channels in YouTube. I have my lectures also in YouTube. And I like to welcome some questions. Thank you for your time.
I think everyone is still processing the talk, but that was a great insight from you, Captain. So if anyone has questions, feel free to unmute and ask away. Right?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. Wait, I can't see
Uh,
who's talking.
yeah, RLA here. Captain
Ah,
Papa.
Simon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for your presentation. So I just have a question. No? According to statistics, 60 to 70% in the shipping industry internationally has already implemented AI in some sort. So some pinaka minimum na implementation to the hardcore infrastructure. But only out of the 70%, only 35 to 40%, uh, no, 30 to 40% failed or did not show any uh, benefit from the implementation. So, for Gosong Southern, if we want to implement AI, in what area in the shipping industry or in the shipping operation should we implement AI in your recommendation?
Okay, thank you for that one. And I'd like to clarify that the number one, as a IT practitioner for many years now, so the implementation of IT system, number one, depends on the client's acceptability and human resource. No, that's also one. Number two is that later I answer your question. Then number two is that the training systems on implementing the system on the company will also matter. Okay, on your question on the supply chain and shipping, I think, in Europe right now, they are now putting IoTs, Internet of Things, sensor right in the engine, sensor right on the generators. I don't recommend that one. I don't recommend that one. That's already the third level. I recommend only the Gen AI analytics. What's Gen AI analytics? When you saw my presentation, if you saw my presentation, the first one is to empower the people of what you have right now. Because the first premise that we cannot change the people that we have right now. We cannot change the type of crew that we have right now. That's we have to accept. The only way to go forward with AI is to train and equip these people with tools. Generative AI is a tool. It's not yet the things that the tools, it's a proper training, how the reports will be given, how the analytics will be given, and the reporting scheme. So it has intervention on management point of view. That's the first most economic approach of AI in the Philippines. But somebody will tell you, why not we put a GPS that is real time and putting in your ships that is generating all this data, so and so, putting a container sensor every container. That's beyond. That's for me. Without proper system, without proper alignment and discipline, that's a waste of money. So
Oh,
I think practically I'm thinking as a businessman, no, not as an AI practitioner. So what's also good for me, as I tell you, I'm running businesses. So I give you a balanced point of view, and this is my balanced point of view.
So when you say generative AI, what do you mean? What platform?
Come again, sir.
When you say generative AI, what specific platform are you referring
Generative
to and
AI
how can we
are,
implement
you
it?
know, ChatGPT is Gen AI. Gemini is Gen AI. Perplexity is Gen AI. With proper prompt and programming, let's say non-reports. Let's say non-reports of shipping every day. That's a repetitive task. Instead of of a guy that is collecting that one, it's being put into, let's say, a notebook LM, which is a Gen AI as well. All notebook LM, file that one. And with a proper prompt, you can ask the analysis for the last 3 months, the last year, then you can ask the projections in the last next year. And that's something that you can do. These are tools. It's actually a tools for the office. It's a management tools. Then we start there, then the acquiring of the data later on will be improved. What do you mean acquiring of the data? For example, who gives you the data? No report. It may be a cadet from the ship, apprentice, running to the second mate, then the second mate make this one. This could be error. So, but later on, the acquiring of data can be automated. How? By a proper system. This is that what I'm talking about. So, level 1 and level 2. So, did I answer you about generative AI? Na?
Yes. Last question, since you mentioned that you are also a programmer, I'm just curious, in your opinion, what platforms and infrastructure components are required across AI lifecycle? So including data ingestion, data storage, model training, model deployment, or maybe orchestration. So what do you think is the way to do it properly when it comes to production and monitoring?
Sir, your signals are really broken down back na. Can you please indulge me, no? Can you repeat your question, please?
Yes, my question is, since you mentioned that you're also a programmer, my question is, in your opinion, if we implement AI or if we want to develop our own AI, what platforms, infrastructure, components are required across the AI lifecycle, including siguro the data ingestion, data storage, and how do we do about the model deployment, and so we can have proper orchestration and product monitoring?
Okay, thank you for that question. So I get it. Um, I as I told you, I started as a database programmer, and as big as you right now, you must have something. You must have something. You may have SEP, you may have for your accounting, you may have maybe Amos for Windows, I don't know, for your worshipping maintenance. And you may have VMS system for your shipping operations. We start there. You start there. So, this is what's good with AI. In a programmer like me before, then for example, Bob will ask me, can you check my program? I would say, Bob, we have to because the APIs, the APIs, you have to talking each other different system. Maybe you have to make one general system. But with AI right now, with the API system, you can actually extract data from different systems. Extract system with a minimum cost. So with a proper design of what you have right now, to get the data of data gathering without changing the whole engineering of your structure right now, then that's the best way to move. Now, if you are, I'm not talking you're zero, but you say a company that really knows zero, then it's a good one to start. Start with the database systems. When it is cleaned up, the database system will be linked to AI in one systems. Then you have storage problems, you have security problems. There are so many systems that we have improved because you want to use a blockchain system. No, there are many because you started from zero. But right now, if you're talking to me as a Gotham, you may have something, and the best one to approach is to anchor on what you have right now. And the cycle for that one will also depend on what you have right now. The changing of system technology in 10 years, maybe the database system that you are now maintaining is no longer be supported by the Windows system that the new Microsoft will be releasing. So those are the things that you have to migrate the data again. No? So those are the challenges that we have as an IT practitioner. Yeah. I hope I could discuss you more. Yeah.
Kap, quick question, Kap. No? You mentioned kaganina, I think